Bruce Wayne may appear to be a wealthy playboy, but beneath this facade, his true identity is that of the Batman, waging an endless war against crime. Join the Caped Crusader in Batman The Audio Adventures, the first scripted audio original featuring Batman and his villainous rogues gallery in a world premiere story of life and death in Gotham City, debuting exclusively on HBO Max. This rollicking adventure, told across 10 episodes, is written and directed by Emmy winner Dennis McNicholas, includes devilishly delightful original music by Doug Bossy, and performances by Rosario Dawson, John Leguizamo, Chris Parnell, Melissa Villaseñor, Seth Meyers, Jason Sudeikis, Brooke Shields, Fred Armisen, and many, many more. Go to hbomax.com/Batman Audio Adventures for more and stream Batman, The Audio Adventures only on HBO Max. Autumn is in the air, the pumpkins are in the patch, and our friends at Manscaped are here to make sure you don't carve your pants pumpkins when you're grooming, if you know what I'm saying. Make sure you're keeping things fresh this fall with the leaders in male grooming and their brand new 4th generation performance package. Boys, get ready for a cuffing season like no other. Ready to take the leap into fall with Manscaped? Join the 2 million men worldwide using Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code DelphinPod, DELFINPOD. You'll get 20% off and free shipping with the code DelphinPod.
But their story didn't end there.
How could there have been only one? And he's back in business.
Is the worst idea in history of bad ideas.
Part 2 is the final chapter in the violent history of...
This time, it's personal.
Candyman. The urban legend is, if you say his name 5 times while looking in the mirror, he appears in the reflection and kills you.
Who would do that?
Candyman. 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 Well, we're still alive. Let's go. Trina, you've broken the door. This isn't funny!
I feel really connected to this neighborhood. Cabrini Green. It was the projects. I just moved in around the corner.
The old candy factory.
I'm an artist.
You looking for Candyman? He's the monster that's part of this neighborhood.
Why are you drawn to this?
I'm hoping to spread the story all about Candyman. The mirror invites you to summon him. You should say his name. I dare you.
Candyman.
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 Don't say that.
Candyman.
I think I made a mistake. I brought him back.
Candyman isn't real!
Something's happening to me.
He had a purpose for you. To be another one of his terrible stories.
I guess he found me.
I am the writing on the wall. The sweet smell of blood. Be my victim.
This is not real. It's not real. Candyman.
If you like candy, laundromats, art, high school bathrooms, hooks, bees, spiritually fueled, mirror-dwelling urban legend slashers kept alive by the trauma in gentrified projects in inner-city Chicago, and if you like Candyman, then you'll like the sequel we're talking about this week. We're talking Candyman.
That's the fifth. Right.
Oh no. Directed by Manny DaCosta, that came out this year, 2021. Another new sequel. Welcome to Revenge of the Sequel, the podcast just about sequels. We talk. Oh, do I say anything after that? No, right?
No, you
Talk
just
2s, 3s, 4s, 1.5s.
The Lion King,
I guess
1.5.
1.1s then on, I guess, or 1.0.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
Soft
guess I keep
reboots, like what this is. I guess this is a soft reboot, or is
Kind
it
of.
hard?
It's kind of like a,
it's like the
it's a-
sequel.
I mean, it is
reboot.
a sequel,
like a sequel
but
reboot.
Yeah, classic Force Awakens type of stuff.
well, if you like anything like that, then you'll love our pod. My name's Emmanuel.
Hey, I'm Andrew.
What's up? It's John.
And this is a continuation of our spooky sequel Oktoberfest. And yes, that is a beer you can buy. Wow, I'd like to have beer. Like, not to like make.
Oh, okay.
Like, we should create a brand of
okay.
beer.
I was like, hey,
I
got
can-
a problem.
No, I'm saying like I can brew like maybe one bottle a day for my house. Is that enough to have a business?
What are you gonna do it in your tub, like an old like prohibition?
Moonshine?
times?
I can do moonshine, toilet wine, just
Toilet wine.
Revenge of the Sequel, toilet wine, and be like,
Taste-
did I put wine in this today?
Taste as bad as Tremors 4.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this tastes like piss. Did we announce our names already?
Yes.
Ooh. All right, rough beginning. But we're talking about Candyman, and I think this our Halloween episode. Which of these is going to be our actual Halloween?
Halloween. This could be
This
the
is
Halloween.
I think
okay.
Halloween. What? I don't know. Does Halloween come out on Halloween? Maybe we should have researched that a little bit.
We'll get back to you. But you're hearing this around the spooky season.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's October in Texas, so what is it, like high 90s or whatever? It's hot outside. You're drinking like a pumpkin spice latte while you're sweating your ass
Yeah,
off.
exactly. It's not helping.
But I'm excited. We've seen so many spooky sequels already. I'm kind of. Are you? I'm kind of still into spooky sequels.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start diving into like fucking Friday the 13th 8 or something pretty soon.
Ooh.
Like Return of the Living Dead 2.
I mean, every year there's at least 2 Friday the 13th, so we got that episode.
Well, and also, like, every year there's going to be more sequels to these IPs, like, to these, like, classic IPs that people won't let die.
Yeah.
So,
horror movies kind of invented multiple sequels.
Yeah. That's a
as well, and coming out like a
the
year
shit
after.
that just keeps coming. Yeah, that Saw.
Saw.
And Paranormal Activity.
I mean, there's a new Paranormal Activity we might talk about on Paramount Plus. So, damn. This might go into November. Welcome to our spooky sequel November. Gobble, gobble, bitches. That's right. The turkeys.
the gobbler.
The gobbler. Blah, 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 blah.
Turkeys gobble you.
Yeah. Okay, that's kind of hot. Let's talk about Candyman. This is a continuation. And also, this is full of spoilers, BT dubs. So, hope you've seen this movie. But this is a continuation of the original Candyman film. And I want to ask y'all what your relationship is to that 1992 movie. And I'm just going to look at the actual date. Oh, snap. This movie is now younger than everyone here. What does that feel like? The original Candyman film from 1992 came out in October. Late October. How does it feel to be old?
This other movie is also younger than us too.
That's true. I guess you're right. You know what? Yeah, I feel good. I feel fine. Yeah, this is a baby's movie. If you were born on the day this movie came out,
You might be Candyman.
you might
in the
be
future.
Candyman in the future.
What exact date in October?
October 16th.
Damn, so I was less than a month old when this movie came
Yeah.
out.
But
And
you were...
I could have been the baby that almost burned in that fire.
That's true. I don't think so because you weren't born in
Chicago, I guess.
Yeah, in
Seems like it was
Chicago. But what
2 years
when
old,
did
too.
you all see this movie?
So I remember
The first one, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like John. John and I's experience is going to be similar because we grew up together, and so we would go to the video store like the way John said, and we would pass it by, and we knew that it was a thing.
Yeah, just
for sure. And
the box art, and it's just something about like when you walk through the horror section when you're a kid, you're just like, man, this is crazy. I've never watched any of these
I was
movies.
like, damn,
it's
this
scary.
guy does bees.
Yeah,
like, damn,
does
this
does
like,
bees.
Yeah, it's like this guy uses bees. Like there was always bees on the cover and stuff like that. So I remember going through that, and I didn't actively seek these movies as a kid because they were fucking terrifying and they were scary. And so I remember being scared to go to the restroom at night, like because I watched Scream or The Shining, or
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't have watched them at such a young age. So this one I didn't actively seek out. We would go to the video store and I'd be like, yeah, let's rent this video game, or yeah, let's rent this cool movie. But I wouldn't go out of my way to be like, yeah, let me shit my pants tonight.
Yeah.
We would pass it by, and when this movie was announced, we finally decided to put it on, and we watched it. And now being able to comprehend something like this, and I wish I would have watched it as a kid, because I feel like it ages actually fairly well. I know the sequels aren't as good, but that goes with every horror movie ever. But Tony Todd really brings the character to life. I think Clive Barker's original source material didn't end up being this expansive. It was kind of a little bit more on the vague side, where they didn't reveal so much of the details. His name wasn't even Candyman. It was kind of like a basis off of the Bloody Mary stuff, where I think hers is only 3 times. Where, man, is there someone that you have to say it 10 times or like in a stupid amount?
I will say I talked about that movie recently about being on a bridge and blowing.
Not that one.
The thing, like you just figure out what the thing you have to do is to conjure it up.
The Empty Man.
No, you got to be contained to the
Beetlejuice.
bathroom.
How many Beetlejuices?
Oh, there's
you
3.
need?
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking about contained to the bathroom. Bloody Mary and Candyman are contained to the restroom.
Or just a mirror. I don't think it
You're
has
right.
to be like
It's true.
Well, if you scream "help" 10 times on a toilet,
Elvis appears. Okay.
if you live alone, no one's coming.
yeah, you're right.
So that's kind of scary.
So no toilet paper. You can't run out. It's just like
Yeah,
You gotta pinch it off with your hand.
That's ugh. So yeah, that was my we decided to watch it right before this movie came out, and then it was delayed for forever because you guys
fucking
don't know how
year.
to wash your hands or cover your mouth when you cough. But yeah, and it was really, really good. I actually wanted to rewatch it before I dove into this newer one, because I kind of forgot a lot of the details. But yeah, I understand why it's a classic, and Tony Todd's iconic voice and powers of the hook on his hand, and just all this imagery and symbolism, I think, of what it means. And just the way that the new ones ended up getting made, where for all the right reasons, where it's like Jordan Peele had the right intentions of like, hey, we not only need equal representation, but it's also one of these pillars, I think, that inspired a lot of filmmakers in in the black community too. So it's really really cool, and kind of progressive for its time in 1992. And a lot of the, and I texted you guys that right after I saw this. I was like, it sucks that today, like, it's so, the Candyman movie is still relevant today as it was in 1992 because of the crazy
even more relevant
themes.
It's
Yeah. And so, just because of the themes that both the first one and this one end up touching on. But I actually am a big Candyman fan now, and so
You're a candy boy.
Yeah, I'm gonna start farming some bees.
Okay, that's not the moral of the movie.
Okay.
Bees are bad. John, what do you think about the
Bees are
Candyman and the sequels? I pulled them up. Candyman, Farewell to the Flesh. Candyman, Day of the Dead. I mean, these are kind of those formative years for us, at least. They came out in the 90s, really low budget horror films,
right? Yeah.
Where the stakes were low. They just had to cover their budget, and they'll keep making them.
Yeah.
Before we're in this crazy IP universe we are in now. But what do you think about the cult status of this, and when did you first hear about Candyman? Candyman.
The same what Drew said. Think of just walking through Blockbuster and Hollywood Video or HEB Video at one point when it was called when we were kids, and then seeing the box art, and then never knowing what actually went on. Like you kind of see that Tony Todd's face is on the cover or something. I think maybe Farewell to the Flesh is the cover that I'm thinking of in my head. But never really seeing this movie until what he said was last year, because we kind of got I think we saw the trailer to this 2021 version, or at the time it was supposed to be 2020, and it looked very interesting, and so we realizing we had never seen Candyman. I kind of knew that Candyman was a dude with a hook and was played by Tony Todd, but I didn't know what the specifics were. Me going into the movie, I assumed it was just going to be your generic slasher movie,
because there were quite a few at the time. Who uses what to kill someone? A chainsaw.
Right.
An axe.
It's basically another on-screen boogeyman. You have your Leatherface, you have your Michael Myers, you have your Jason, Freddy Krueger. Candyman is one of those other ones, and so
Chucky.
He kind of
Ooh,
Chucky.
Jeez.
So, and then finally actually watching it, and then hearing that, I think from the beginning it sold me. I think the way the score from the original movie was made by Philip Glass, he uses choir and organs to play the songs. I mean, I was instantly sold. And then when you watch the movie, it's not It's funny because I also rewatched the first one a couple of days ago, like in preparation for the podcast. It's a movie you don't really know what direction it's going in. Like I remember watching it and being like, this is a fresh like take on a slasher movie. Like in my opinion, I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. I mean, yes, you have the rules that are set up where you summon them in the mirror 5 times, which to me I always thought was a little goofy, but the way they do it in the movie and it's kind of organic, or with the story, it's kind of organic, and the way things play out for the character is just like, whoa, this is like this is a true horror movie. It's
a little surreal.
It's super surreal. And then, yeah, I guess the history of it and the way it relates to, themes that are kind of going around now is just like, it was kind of mind boggling. So that was like my interaction with that. I've never seen the sequels. I know that there are things, and I think they expand on the mythology of the original.
They follow his lineage.
Yeah, they follow from the Tony Todd one, basically, because I knew this new one kind of reboots it and kind of
there's a lot of Candyman.
Yeah, there's Candyman. So there's a hive, I think that's what they call it.
Oh yeah, bees.
But the sequels, I think, do go into the sequels. Kind of have like I've seen clips from them, and they look like it's like a sci-fi afternoon, like a sci-fi channel like quality movie and stuff. Not that they're bad. I'm sure that they're popular because they're the third one.
It was a lot of exploitation of the cult status of Candyman.
Of the first one. Yeah.
They actually give him his real name, Robotai.
Robotai is they name him in the second one or third one because they don't actually name him in the first one.
And this film is pretty directly tied to all of those, and mostly the first one.
Mostly the first one, yeah. But you're right. It doesn't disregard any of the other ones. I guess I guess that's pretty cool.
One of them is him.
And then I guess we're gonna go. Should we talk about this one now?
So I watched the first one. Damn, no,
we don't care what you said, John. Let's talk about.
No, because you said you were in Chicago.
Yeah, so I grew up in Chicago. I did not grow up in Cabrini Green. I grew up.
I lived Candyman.
I know, and guess what? He's here. It's me. No, I grew up on the outskirts, in the suburbs, Chicago Ridge. Went to like a Christian school. I had a very different experience.
You sit in the bathroom all the time, smoking a pack of cigarettes, getting paddled by the nuns.
But watching this current Candyman film and seeing the Candyman, the original, I recognize that look and that vibe because when you drive into the city, that's what it looked like. I recognize the buildings. There's a really big building. I forgot about the Marina something building. It's in the new Candyman movie, but we all called it like the Corncob building. It has one of the cool death sequences. But it looks like a honeycomb, I guess, in a weird way. But so I kind of understood a lot of the Chicago stuff in the movie. The origins of Candyman are incredibly British. It's a British short story that was about class dynamics in Liverpool. But the director, who is also British and very European, scouted Chicago and said, well, this place has worse, dynamics. There's a bigger disparity between rich and poor and black and white here. So he reset it and Americanized it for here. But it was always so different because it was an American story, but told in a very European way. It's a lot. The first one is a lot like a Polanski movie, which is crazy. Like you're going madness is a part of the Candyman, story.
It's an urban legend.
It's an urban legend. Yeah. So I feel like that's what made it really unique to me, more than even like the death scenes, which are pretty memorable in the first one too. So let's talk about this one. I feel like we already talked about some of the things that needed an update from Candyman. Just even the people making it is a big part of that. This is directed by, honestly, a surprisingly young, talented filmmaker, Nate DaCosta, who's making the next Marvel stuff, but also produced by Jordan Peele, and the entire cast and crew or most of them are people of color, which I think is great, especially if you're telling a story about the themes that are in this movie. But Andrew, what do you think about Candyman 2K21?
Sounds like a video game.
Yeah, it was really good, man. I remember being blown away by it. I love that it doesn't overstay its welcome like some of these other movies where it's like, oh man, now like the pacing's an issue and now it's dragging and things like that. I felt like I after I finished it, I was like, damn, hopefully they fast track the sequel so I can just
they could be a whole universe now.
Yeah, and I was like, man, we have a new Candyman now for a new generation and stuff like that, and hopefully it doesn't stay as relevant in the future, but. It's really, really cool, and it's not it doesn't. It's not filled with a lot of jump scares or too much gore or anything like that.
It's surprisingly modern.
That's
like for what the concept is.
And so if you don't like that type of stuff, and you don't want to get actually, the scary part is in its themes and how you leave, how you feel on how they portrayed those. I guess, and it's just really really crazy that it's still as relevant as it was in 1992, if not more relevant. Where like George Floyd could have been a Candyman and Martin Luther King could have been a Candyman, and that it's just it goes on in a cycle. But overall, really really awesome. I thought the cast was fantastic, and just man, even getting Domingo in this movie, where I was like, man, I didn't even know he was in this movie.
Coleman Domingo.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I was a fan of his in Fear the Walking Dead, and that's where I kind of grew attached to him. And I know he acted with Chadwick Boseman in what was the movie called? He just got nominated for an Oscar.
Ma Rainey.
Yes, exactly. And so I know he was in there, and so I know that he had been killing it lately, and so to see him in this movie, I was like, damn, this is a pretty cool. It kind of gives it some legitimacy, but also having our lead actor, how do you Black Manta?
Yahya Abdul Mateen II.
Yeah, and in the Get Down, and obviously in Watchmen. I don't want to spoil who he is in Watchmen, but
let's just say,
what are you doing?
You can see his hog.
Yeah, but it's an HBO show. That's where
there's a sex scene in Watchmen where I was like,
damn.
Nice.
Yeah,
is it really for real?
Yeah, he's talking about in Zack Snyder's Watchmen.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, I don't remember seeing.
It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth.
It happens in the laundry room. That's all I'll say.
Hey, calm down, bro.
32 minutes, 12 seconds into the second episode. That's all I'll say.
So yeah, he's been
here. Let me show it to you. It's my screensaver.
He's been killing it too, and so there's no one better than to get the torch passed on to this way. And also he gets to be fucking Morpheus in the Matrix, and so it's like, damn, this guy's gonna be it for a long time.
Yeah,
for sure. But really, really solid movie. And I geeked out when I saw Tony Todd, and me and my buddy Rob were like, if this movie doesn't start with the song "The Candyman," we're gonna be fucking.
It's in the movie,
and it's in the movie. Just the imagery of like how many reflections do you see in this movie? Like whether they're walking next to a window or the beginning, the Monkey Paw Studios. It's backwards and et cetera, and the cinematography too. And like the way John said, the score. The opening title sequence is amazing and hypnotizing because of the cinematography and the score, but on how many like establishing shots there are, and then it kind of zooms in slowly on so many things.
Yeah. Well, it's a great horror thing. If you watch horror films, establishing the space is the first thing you need to do because you're about to scare people in it. So people do it different ways. James Wan uses a oneer. Some people use these like really wide shots, and in this film, those master shots, pretty good.
She
knows what she's doing. That's what you do with a horror movie.
And I am so excited for everybody a part of this project because hopefully it brings them, one, good fortune, and they get to sign on for a sequel for this, but also just some talented folks all the way around. And man, like it makes me want to be Candyman for Halloween. I know I probably could, but
John.
Well, I was like, yeah, but man, it's just really really cool to get that classic, horror figure. Like, when was the last time? I mean, I guess Michael Myers is killing it. But I was like, when's the last time you saw one of these movies? Like the Chucky one kind of bombed and tanked the reboot with Aubrey Plaza. Not a lot of people like that. The Nightmare on Elm Street was problematic as fuck. Jason Leatherface is being rebooted 4 times, and so
there's a Scream TV show. There's
and so like when's the last time
fucking Scream?
When's the last time you got a really really crazy successful okay, like this could be another one, besides the Halloween one. Even then, the second one Halloween Kills might suck.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really really awesome to get somebody like that back into the mix of a horror scene. And he's got a new look.
Yeah, John, what did you think? How many Candymans would you give this movie? I'm just kidding. Don't do it. Don't do it. But what did you think about this updated Candyman?
I was really taken back by how much I like this movie. I think only because coming away from the first one, I think you already knew that the first one was going to be, or like having seen the first one, you're like, wow, this is a really cool concept. I think making the conscious decision to not seek out the sequels because you're like, oh, they're probably just low budget versions of the second or of the first one. I didn't want to kind of tarnish, I guess, my view of the first one movie. And then this one coming out, like it looks the trailers make it seem like it is a full-on reboot, like a. But and then as you start to pay attention to the story, you kind of realize that it's kind of a sequel. And I think DaCosta, right? Nia DaCosta? She basically builds upon the canon of the original movie and makes it kind of like, there's misdirection a lot too. Like there's like she brings some characters back from the original movie.
There's a prophecy.
And yeah, there's a prophecy, but also like she brings, she uses the plot from the first one to kind of propel the plot from this to this one. But in the way
in a way, that's like a sequel-y, world-building trope.
it is a sequel,
which is like,
but then she adds to
almost,
it though. Like she adds to it by doing, by adding like that. There's been multiple Candymen, I guess, over the years being like murdered,
told through like beautiful shadow puppetry, which I thought was really great.
And kind of this theme of like scarred children and then turning these people turned into monsters and just kind of like basically by society and stuff is really kind of crazy. I think there's a lot of theme in this, and it's a very kind of quick movie. I kind of realized that it's a quick movie.
Yeah, it's a tight 91 minutes.
Yeah, and but I was like, this is probably one of my favorite movies of the year. It's surprisingly modern, and the way the horror it's not jump scare horror-y. It's like, it's all atmosphere. It's all about like, there's quick little takes. There are some jump scares. I'm not saying that there aren't, but they, it's not like something and then you I guess it is kind of like a jump scare. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I mean, they're effective.
It is maybe a third of the jump scares you would normally see in a big budget Hollywood movie like this.
Yeah, and then it's just so effective the way she blends like just this tone and atmosphere with the dread of what's happening to this character who, I think the character's name is Anthony McCoy. And it's just like it's crazy because it's like there's some tragic moments in it. I think the whole story is really a tragedy. There's some parts that don't make sense to me, like the very end with Coleman Domingo's character kind of wanting to like make another Candyman, which I guess we'll get into here in a second. But overall, the movie is like it's a hit. I think it's like surprisingly modern and relevant to what's going on. I think the satire part of it is kind of like the thing that's kind of working the strongest. You either have a very positive reaction to it or you have a negative one. I don't think there's a in between.
Yeah.
I've seen reviews of like people either like more so on a fan review scale, maybe not so much on a critic review scale. But
critics have a different thing that they have.
But a fan review scale, it's kind of one of those love it or hate it things, depending on what side you're swinging politically, I guess. But holy hell, like what a movie! I think I've seen this movie like twice now.
Oh my gosh, if you watch it 3 more times.
Yeah, he just lives with me at that point, yeah. I've seen a movie twice. I can't wait to kind of watch it again. Like, I can't wait to own this movie. This movie's great. Like what Drew said earlier, I think that this and the combination of the first one, because this only enriches the experience of the first one, too. Like, you can go back. People can watch this movie and then not really have any knowledge of the first one. They don't really need it. And this is where the reboot-ish of this movie comes in, because you don't really... This does this well on its own, and it kind of tells a story completely.
Literally until like one of the last moments, you then are like, oh, if this is a...
Oh, yeah.
This is like a big IP moment right here.
Right, yeah. And then I guess that moment also is a little... It's cool for fans, but also you probably, if you've never seen the first one, you're probably like, I guess that's
what
the
is
first
happening?
one.
Yeah.
You're like, I guess that's the original one.
Yeah.
But man, the movie is like, it's super entertaining. To me, it's super scary. And it sits with you, like just like you. It's almost like you watch something that you're just like, whoa! Like it's very moving. And this isn't her first movie, right? I think it's like her second.
And
third?
it's not her last.
It's not her last, and she definitely should make more things after because of this movie. I kind of want her to make another version of this movie, like maybe make a sequel.
Her first movie was Little Woods, a crime thriller. It did really well, I think, at Sundance, if I'm not mistaken.
She needs to make more Candyman or produce more Candyman stuff, and I'm not sure how much of that is Jordan Peele's storyline or if it's her direction. Her direction definitely has something to do with it. But she should fast, like what Drew said, like fast track a sequel, because I really want to see more of this universe.
I just learned she worked with Scorsese while she was in college, which is exciting. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I thought this film. Look, if this film definitely tries to do a lot. It is, and I'm talking thematically. Of course, the craft of this film is good, but I don't think you would expect anything less from her. The score is fantastic. It has some of the best, I think, like Candyman kill sequences, and they're all fairly different. And, in a way, you're like, well, how many mirrors are there? And then you're like, whoa, there's actually quite a few ways you can be murdered by Candyman. But it never borders that, like, sadistic thing, which a lot of slasher movies have, which would, even though some of the people do get their just desserts, killed by Candyman.
Some classy kills in a way.
Some really classy kills and some really great visual.
Because that first one is kind of a little sadistic. I'm thinking of one kill in particular from that first movie that's all
these
totally
people
gory.
are supposed to be at least annoying, borderline at least annoying. I did find that the voice is fantastic and the characters are great. Going mad is not uncommon in film. Like we see it often.
A lot.
People in fugue states, and then it's just because it's so cinematic. You could do things. You can change the lens. You can add things into. It's a great place to make someone go crazy.
You add some things to the character's wardrobe.
Just throw in a tilt shift, or like something.
Have a bee bite their hand or something.
Oh, yeah. Like there's all kinds of things that you can do which make this sort of experience really cinematic. I think there is a lot of, one of the main critiques of this film is the fact that a lot of things are very much spoon-fed to the audience. There's an aura, there's an atmosphere to the film, but there's really not that much mystery. Someone will just tell you, through reliant dialogue, what the theme is that we're talking right now. I mean, 10 minutes in...
Coleman Domingo does that a lot.
A lot. 10 minutes into the movie, there's conversation about gentrification, and, I mean, these actors could just be looking at the camera and saying that. Does that make So I understand that part, but I feel like in terms of theme, they may have there may be 12 because there's so many. There's a lot. There's commentary on art and pretension. There's trauma, their childhood trauma. I think his girlfriend's dad kills himself, and that's a thread in this. Police brutality is a thread. Gentrification. There's a lot that happens in this movie, and you have to remember this is a 90-minute long movie.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe they were just kind of forced into these time corners. They're like, oh my gosh, if we just establish this through a conversation, we can at least reference this theme. But I thought I really enjoyed it. And I think just in terms of the way that you feel and the choices made, I talked a little bit about the shadow puppets. I thought that was fantastic. The connections with the original Candyman, you can almost see a mile away, especially when anyone talks about a prophecy. Guess what's going to happen to your main character, guys? In a movie, they're a part of it, baby. Unless it's that M. Night Shyamalan movie where they kept alluding to the giant tower that's being built, and then they never go to it. Remember that? What was the last? The Split? Is it? That's not Split. It's the other one.
Oh yeah. I forgot the fucking name of it. Glass.
Yeah. They're like, this tower's being built. This tower's being built, and which I think he did on purpose too. But I'm I feel like this movie is incredibly fun. I'm gonna ask you all what your favorite sequence was for Candyman, and then we're gonna play a game. But mine is that drone shot from the Honeycomb Building with the art critic. I thought that was really cool and clever. Especially since he literally just leaves, and then you see her die while it's kind of a honeycomb shape to things. There's kind of these scary hallways, and nobody else knows in the building. I will say, once he leaves, I would think that maybe he would be suspect number one. Because there's probably cameras. Everyone saw him just leave her apartment, and he acted really weird at that dinner. And I don't know why people aren't like, didn't you just
even at the meeting with him, she was he didn't blink, and he's like, you should say his name.
I know, yeah. He told her to. That's fucked up, right?
Yeah, it's just
But that was my favorite Candyman scene, or I guess kill scene, or scare scene, or whatever. But Andrew, what was your favorite Candyman mirror murder? Mirror murder.
I think, it's got to go to the very first one where he first resurfaces at the, obviously he has a drunk moment here. What's the main character's name?
Anthony.
Anthony. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, from the baby from the first one. Spoiler alert. But yeah, Anthony obviously has a drunk moment, which is one of the funniest laughs in the whole movie when he's telling the two curators off.
Art people are so annoying, right?
Yeah. Well, and also like he's kind of like making his girlfriend look bad at and stuff like that. So, it's really really low, and obviously this guy is like banging his interns or something like that. Like apparently,
and
like
that was weird that she hooked herself to him. I told Sophia like, what is that?
Yeah. What kind of fucking
I gotta
BDSM?
Google what kids are into now. Because I'm like, why would you want that?
Yeah, it's like fucking Avatar, just plugging yourself in.
Hooked to me.
Art creators, am I right?
They're
Just
so
like-
weird. They're always hooking.
Pretentious as fuck. Do they think that's something that the kids like, but it's weird for the kids also.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so he's bagging his intern or whatever in this thing, and the Candyman comes out, and it's fucking amazing because the way he's not there and he is there, so like there's no one dragging this person, and then they'll pass by a mirror and he's there. And
Invisible Man, like Invisible Man.
I am the writing on the wall. No, just kidding. Just start fucking the whisper in the classroom. I forgot all of it, but
The whisper in the wind.
yeah, the whispering eye. Yeah, it's really, really, it's just cool just to see it back again.
In the rules, you're like, oh snap, I gotta look for mirrors. Then the whole movie, you're like, what's that? What's that in the mirror?
Yeah,
It's me.
I mean, like, there's an obvious, the ending is fucking amazing. But I guess I'll leave that to someone else. But yeah, just the chill of the first scene and getting to see the killer back and them kind of playing up the fact that they don't show you Tony Todd, and everyone wants to see Tony Todd as soon as it comes in. And
Yeah, you don't really see. Yeah.
yeah, you don't see him until the money shot at the end. But yeah, the money shot all over your face.
And John, what was your favorite Candyman kill? Ooh, that's good too.
I don't know if
Candyman
it's a kill
or Candyman moment.
I do like the scene where he's sees himself in the mirror as Candyman. I think that's like a very creepy shot because it kind of lingers. Like it doesn't like
Lingerer.
doesn't cut away. And I think that's pretty awesome. As far as the kill scene, I think I mean we're almost like just exhausting them, but I do like the scene in the bathroom, which is a very classy kill in my opinion.
The high school one?
Yeah, the high school.
Okay.
The
The
bathroom
fact that
scene.
it didn't show you them.
It doesn't show you them at all. Like, actually
It's like through the little.
It's like
Yeah.
let me show you us killing 16-year-old girls.
I think it's the
and
coolest.
they kept going to check, and I'm like, damn, all of you are gonna go check.
The coolest thing is like where the girl has like her
Compact
mirror,
mirror,
open. Yeah,
yeah.
compact mirror open, and then she
Normally
sees
use
something
it for
behind
blush.
her. Yeah, she sees something behind her, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like that, and then that I think maybe that's one of the coolest, like the kill scene.
Yeah. And my girl Sophia saw him. She was like, "Oh, he was in the scene the whole time. You have to look at the friggin'
Oh, really?
paper towel dispenser." And I was like,
paper
"What?
towel?
I gotta watch
Yeah, I
this
didn't see
movie
that, yeah.
again because he's just there, I guess, standing."
Yeah, I didn't know that. And then
That probably happened. You probably missed 20 Candyman actually if you watch
just
the movie
like
again.
there, yeah.
It's like a Haunting on Hill House style.
Yeah, so like that's probably the best like kill scene to me. But I think I really do like that mirror scene where it lingers and he's kind of like checking his Candyman reflection
Yeah.
out. It's not him as the Candyman. It's like the Sherman guy, the dude who gives out candy in the.
Well, that's
in
one of the
projects,
things
yeah.
that is somewhat different because in a lot of the Candyman prior films, it's the person who's going crazy. Well, isn't it?
It's kind of that. That's usually the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
and
it's
in
like-
this one, there is an actual Candyman, and you're going to be part of this
hive thing. Yeah,
hive
that's a new
interesting.
thing.
Well, let's talk about because that's the ending. The ending is different because not only is he, he's full on Candyman now and he's being taken over, but he's now in the physical form where people can see him when he kills all those police officers. Like that is
Right,
different
yeah.
because
All
that's
those
the
dirty cops.
That's the first time it's not no mirrors around, and you're just like, damn, he's here.
Yeah,
like
he's straight up
the
fucking-
bees are
he's
here.
like fucking flying. Yeah.
I mean, what did you think
It's like,
about that
look what
moment?
and a lot of it is like the Pennywise thing.
I think that stems
where it's
back
like
from the first one,
the
though,
belief.
Because
That's
like,
true. He comes out. Yeah.
Well, because in the first one, I was also confused in watching it and being like, this guy's real. Like, he's like, they burned him at a bonfire at the very end. Like, he actually burns
They can
and
get it
is-
rid of-
is
yeah,
in- he's in, like, he's in pain and screaming and stuff. And he has a lair. Like, he's the one who takes the baby and goes to, like, a lair. So, like, whatever Candyman is summoned and I guess like sacrificed to the hive, like he's a tangible thing, like a tangible person.
It's like one of those things where it's like a Pennywise, where it's like you believe in him to a certain point and
Yeah,
extent,
yeah.
and then he becomes real, and then like the kids are whipping the shit out of Pennywise, and then he goes away, and then starts a little bit of a
Like the hint. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's why he
All
says
it-
tell everyone at the very
Well,
end.
he also makes the cognitive choice to not kill her because she would be dead, right? Because she says Candyman 5 times.
But also he wants the belief. So like, hey, you're the one that I let everybody go tell, and like no one's gonna like they're gonna believe that you did this entire killing. Like no way. Like you know you just took out cops after this and that.
That's why the next thing is exciting because it's almost at this point a damn superhero movie.
Yeah, well, because could you imagine if like the whole world believes him and like how big and powerful he can be? He can split himself into whatever, or whatever. I mean, you have the potential to give him a new superpower or like a new.
He can control Jerry Seinfeld B movie because he's a bee in the B movie.
But it was that last scene was fucking dope.
Yeah,
and I like to the point where I'm like, damn, he's almost like an anti-hero. Like we're all fucking cheering for him.
Yeah, it does show. I mean, yeah, because it. Probably, were y'all getting to that? And I was like, it shows like Tony Todd.
Yeah,
like, as a
it switches to all of the stories that you're hearing.
I think he walks around the car and he becomes every single Candyman that you've seen, and
changes.
It's almost like a Doctor Who moment.
You don't
like,
get to, you don't. I think I've seen that where like it doesn't get to Todd's character Robitaille until
the very end. You see him,
and what it's a shot on his face. Yeah,
I think this is, I guess, speculation, but is this? I mean, the trauma of Cabrini Green and all of these stories. Do you think by the end of this, he wants more power in a weird way? Because he tells her to go tell everyone. Do you think that his goal is to be an Avenger of type?
I'm not sure. I think it's more of like
I think maybe to stop like again like an anti-hero where it's like damn like that's what seems to bring him out like the most, where it's like, oh man, like you're not gonna make someone else a Candyman.
That would be like really cool if they keep with that in future movies. I always kind of assumed on a broader sense that he like all the Candyman were kind of just like they the world kind of fucked them over, all of them, like so like they're basically enacting revenge on everybody, like anybody who like summons them and stuff.
Well, man, like then that there's a terrifying scene there where Domingo's character goes into as a kid, he goes into that laundromat and you see the hole and you're like, fuck, this is scary as fuck. And so when you see a guy come out of it, you're fucking terrified. But then you're like, oh no, this is just a guy like giving out candy or whatever. And literal Candyman, and then he gets beat to death by the police.
Yeah,
and so you're like, damn, that's fucking fucked.
And then he joins the hive. Like he becomes
the one you see around. He's the one you see around. Like
a lot. And so it's really, I think that concept gives this character a longevity that shouldn't be. Because you're like, damn, it shouldn't be this way. There shouldn't be this long list of people that have died this way.
Well, they say like that Candyman's the way they deal with the pain. Like that's the pain.
And
like,
part of the thing here too is Cabrini Green is gentrified, and there are high rises, and there's no more projects. It's a very different town, and Candyman is now there, so it's a very different. And I feel like that may be why they introduced that gentrification theme pretty overtly. Talk about it a lot in the movie, like conversationally, and like I'm trying to think that maybe they want to revive, because it'd be safe to assume the community is decimated there, so reviving Candyman would be the job of the girlfriend to, and I guess her brother talks about Candyman too, right? Like so it's still around in that neighborhood full of hipsters now, and honestly. I'm on the Candyman side.
And it's just crazy that like he should be the villain of the movie, but he's kind of in a way the hero.
Get out of here, like, hipsters.
Yeah, obviously his means are extreme, and like he's killing like these innocent kids that are in the bathroom just contributing to his legend. But he's like, hey, that's a small price to pay for like
everything else.
Yeah, exactly. And man, it's so funny. There's a scene where it's like, oh, they're talking about the Candyman legend. They're like, who would do that? And then it goes to like white people. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's so funny because they would be the one to be like, oh, this is gonna be
curious.
Yeah, and then boom, dead. It's really really kind of bonkers that again it's just so relevant, and I can see people of color getting arrested on like being on camera and them yelling Candyman 5 times as like a symbolic thing or like a protest thing, and you're like, fuck, that's fucking scary.
Let's play a game. I'm gonna play. So we're not gonna take a break. We're just gonna go into it.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's what we normally do on Revenge Sequel, right?
Nah.
I don't want to edit a break in here.
Whatever.
It's hard.
Okay.
To find music and do all.
And this is real. People like the raw stuff.
They like the raw stuff.
They like raw,
uncut,
dogged,
unsleeved. So you will need to text me, just like the game we played yesterday. Oh wait, people here don't know this.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just gonna text me the answers you think. I'm gonna keep track of the of your scores. But hey, we're talking Candyman. So let's talk candy, man.
Why are you looking at me? Is it because I'm fat?
No.
How come you're not looking at John when you're saying this?
John,
Okay, thank you.
You like candy? Say I like candy. Say it.
I want candy.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you trivia questions that are themed and associated with our favorite sweet treats to put in our mouths. Candy. And you will each, John and Andrew, you'll text me your answers. For every correct answer you get, you'll get a point.
That was Vin Diesel saying candy.
Why would he say candy?
I don't know. It was just
Instead of family, he says candy.
Candy.
Can you imagine?
He has a stripper sister named Candy. Candy.
Candy family, right?
It's true.
Candy's part of the family. Everyone at home, you can play too, but your points
But it makes
won't
no
count.
sense. Yeah, it's like
just like
whose
whose
line
Honor
is it
system.
anyway?
Yeah, honor system. Write how many points you get. Mail it to us to our P.O. box. We actually have one. I don't know what it is, but let us know. All right, here we go. Here's the start of Candy, man. Our fun game. Okay.
Man candy, you pervert.
M&M candies. Wait, yeah. Okay. What color of M&M did blue replace in 1995? So blue was released in 1995, and it replaced a color of M&M. What color was it? Are y'all
no
M&M
fucking
fans?
clue.
John put gray. Andrew put black. The answer is tan. So they're for decades.
I was gonna say brown because it makes no sense because like the chocolate on the inside is brown.
That's good. Yeah. You know, did you ever do when you were a kid that thing where you had water and if you put an M&M in the water, the sugar of the M&M floats to the top? Do it.
No,
You can do it with Skittles too. Yeah. It's
I have to
probably
go
not.
buy M&Ms though for that. I might just like do it next time, or else I'll just eat the pack.
That's true. Yeah, I love the peanut M&Ms. They're good.
I think I don't know who I was talking to. This is a tangent, but I could have swore I had a conversation with someone who swore that M&Ms had different flavors, and I'm sure they were just thinking of
No way.
like
They're
Skittles.
like, doesn't it taste like blue? Do you taste the green in there?
Yeah.
Which one came first? The
Yellow.
food-
This tastes like yellow dye number 4.
the food or the color on orange? Or
You're
like which one came first?
Like that. That's a little bird poop.
Was the fruit around before the
color
All
orange?
right. Which candy company is the largest producer of chocolate in the United States? Which candy company is the largest producer of chocolate in the United States? Everybody, send me your interesting. John texted Nestle. Andrew texted Willy Wonka.
I said Mars.
And then Mars. The answer is Hershey's.
Oh shit!
I thought that was an
I
easy
didn't-
one.
I didn't know
I
that
thought
was
Nestle was like the
Yeah.
owner of Hershey's or something.
Yeah.
Man, I know nothing about candy now.
Who's Hershey's parent company?
Oh my god, let me see. It's Hershey's
Wonka. No, it's not
parent.
Wonka.
Willy Wonka. That was one of my answers.
Probably Halliburton or some shit. No, it's Hershey.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
The Hershey's Trust Company.
The Hershey Squirts.
And they own Monsanto? I'm just kidding. No. That's always fun to go do like the corporate wiki
Yeah,
and
see
go back.
What fucking yeah?
And it's like Delphin Pod is owned. Don't ask who owns Delphin Pod. All right, here's the next one. So far, 0-0. What candy bar was named after a family horse? There's a candy bar that's popular, and it was named after the family
Is
horse.
it still around?
It's still around. Yes, it's not like war horse. Flicka, the candy bar. What candy is still around?
Actually,
Candy
don't
bar
fucking know. Like,
is named after a family horse. I guess you're not a candy connoisseur. Do you eat candy?
Not
we
really.
can't as adults. You fucking
Yeah, sugar.
die.
sugar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Like cavities. all
Do you know
sorts of
how hard we need to work out to burn off one of those fucking Hershey bars? The Hershey's Kiss?
John sent Charleston, which I think you're thinking Charleston Chew or something, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And then Andrew, you put Snickers, and that means that Andrew gets our first point.
I knew it. You know why? I rode a horse named Snickers. before.
Wow.
I did. I swear.
It's named after that horse.
this-
Isn't
I
it
was
crazy?
about to say, you
I
rode
had
Snickers?
I had the choice between Snickers and Puzzle, and I was like, Snickers are my favorite chocolate. So
Yeah.
I was like, fuck Puzzle.
And it's like a
Why is it
100-year-old
called
horse.
Puzzles?
That's the puzzle.
All right, here's the next one. What is in the center of a Ferrero Rocher candy? All these candies, you probably had a Ferrero Rocher, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's in the center of those? I bet you didn't even know there was something in the center of those, huh? And the answer is not air. Because I know they're a little hollow. The question is, what's in a Wonder Ball?
Oh, I wonder, why do I
You know
do?
they took everything out of Wonder Balls
Yeah,
now?
because everyone just kept eating them whole like Augustus
Like
Gloop.
me.
Like Augustus Gloop.
I would cup 2 Wonder Balls. I would just put them in my mouth. Swallow.
Rest them on your eyes.
And, okay, so what is in the center of a Ferrero Rocher candy? Andrew put caramel. John put fruit filling. The answer is a hazelnut. Ferrero Rocher.
I haven't had a Ferrero Rocher in a
We
while.
don't
Yeah.
need candy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Plus, a Ferrero Rocher sounds expensive, so I don't want to buy
I
any
like
candy
those.
that's
I
even
get it
more
for
expensive
Christmas
than-
every year, and I don't know why. I feel like
They're
what-
really good.
Yeah.
They're actually, and that's what sucks is that
Isn't
I don't
there
want to
pricey candy,
No,
though?
I
Like,
don't
it's
want to
just
pay
like-
that much money
They are
to
expensive.
because then I'm going to eat them all in one sitting because they're so delicious.
Yeah, it's like literally like $15.
Yeah, see,
And
like
I
I'm not
just- I
going
was
to
like,
pay
damn.
like $15 for candy. Like this.
I know it's not even going to make me shit because it's just a little bit amount of food.
But that crunch, and now you know there's a whole hazelnut in there, so maybe it's a value.
The
huh?
crunch reminds me of like remember that candy that Jimmy Neutron made for in his show.
No.
Okay,
Which is the most? Okay, so according to a 2016 poll,
you love polls.
what is the most desirable candy to find in your trick or treat bag? So they did a poll of all these kids and adults. What is the thing that you're looking for in your trick or treat bag? So think about America here.
I know what I would want in my trick or treat bag.
I want an
Razor
apple
blade.
with a razor blade. Yeah, I guess so. All right. Sorry. Andrew put Kit Kat. John put Starburst. That was a trick question. Now I want to know what to get you for trick or treat time. No, but the answer is peanut butter cups from Reese's. That's
Oh,
the
fuck,
most-
you're right.
Yeah, that's my most one.
Damn, you're right.
And I guess everyone. And you know
I
what?
take my nieces and nephews, and then that's their payment. I'm like, let me sift through your bag.
No joke. Anytime when I was a kid and I would find a Reese's, I thought I had hit like a jackpot. For some reason, I thought they cost more. Is that true? They
No,
don't, right?
they're pretty cheap candy.
which one?
Reese's are not expensive,
They're not
are
expensive.
they?
No,
but I
they
always
do-
was like, damn, I'm fucking rich.
Now they have like some fat ass cups. Like they have one huge cup,
like a
or they
deep
have
dish.
they have
You
two
just
of the
like-
big cups. Like, and I was like, damn,
Like double D's?
you were talking about cupping them earlier. Yeah, big cups.
All right, here we go.
That's what I need when I play sports. A big cup.
Okay, all right. Yeah, right.
No, I was talking about Reese's. Bitch.
What does M&M stand for?
Marshall Mathers.
You have to give me both.
His arms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. His
Mom spaghetti. What does M&M stand for? And you have to give me the complete answer. Because I feel like one of them's going to be easy. One of them, a little hard.
No, I have no fucking
I
clue.
don't know either.
I'm glad we don't know these because
Yeah.
we're like, damn, we're like,
Yeah.
we don't have diabetes.
Andrew is winning with 1, so John, you're very close.
I don't know. I mean,
I have mesothelioma.
I have meso.
The M in M&M stands for mesothelioma. Any guesses? You want to guess or no?
I just guessed. It's stupid.
John said Mars and Mars. Andrew said Marshall Mathers. The answer is Mars and Murray.
Oh shit, I was close.
Chad Michael. Milk chocolate was invented in what country? Kind of a thinker, but then kind of obvious, actually. But milk chocolate was invented in what country?
Chocolate's always been around, so you're just saying milk chocolate? or
Milk chocolate mixed with milk. And chocolate wasn't always around because God didn't create America until 1992.
Oh fuck! I
Just
don't know what I
kidding.
typed in, but it's
something?
okay.
1992?
Yeah, it's old.
I just
Yeah, it's
realized.
as old as me.
Yeah, it's like
Fuck it.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess fuck it.
John sent USA. Real
Basic bitch.
No, I get it. He's wearing his hat. Andrew put Switzerland,
What?
which means Andrew gets another point because it was invented in Switzerland.
Oh shit!
Booyah!
Why did you pick that?
Because
you knew?
to be honest, I was trying to remember some Willy Wonka facts, but also, Food Channel. They're just like, hey, some of the best chocolate comes from there.
So the Swiss, I think
Yeah.
it's still a company. Or
Oh yeah,
something,
yeah.
right?
And so
That needs to get-
I'm a little bit of a chocolate connoisseur.
Ooh, but I think the actual. Oh wait, but the actual like chocolate fruit I think is from like
Yeah, the cocoa bean.
South America.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Cacao. All right. Can you name the best-selling candy in the world? The best in worldwide,
Best selling?
Mr. Worldwide Pitbull.
Like who fucking bought?
Like of all time or like today?
Right now, today, what is being sold the most right now around the world?
any type of candy? Like you're saying any type of candy?
yeah,
Like, you
anytime.
can't,
Yeah,
like-
Chocolate. Cool.
It has to be like something chocolate related. I feel like.
You said that.
Around the world.
Around the world.
It's not a trick question. It's not like, you know.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
well,
shit.
there's
Hold on,
different
hold
types
on.
of candy. There's candy corn. There's fucking
Oh,
like
no, candy corn is
hard
not the
candy.
number
There's
one.
candy porn.
There's hard candy.
I'm hard candy right now. All right, here are the. Andrew put lollipops. John put Hershey's, and Andrew put chocolate. I guess that doesn't.
That's what you said. That's why John was like, any candy? I was like,
Tootsie
taffy.
Pops.
No one gets the point, but it's Snickers again.
Oh, fuck. That's my favorite candy ever.
Back around, Snickers actually outperforms all other chocolate and tons of candy around the world.
We know why. Because that's the fucking best.
And it's named after a horse.
Hungry?
Here we go.
Grab a Snickers.
What candy was added to World War II soldiers' rations due to its durability? Very famous candy. They added it to the rations of World War II soldiers as a little treat because they can survive a bullet. No, they can't do that. I'm sure they can't do that. But what treat? I was about to say the candy right now. I was about to be like, and this candy. But what's a durable candy that was around during World War II that they put in soldiers?
It has to be suckers, right? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Is it suckers? No, it's not suckers. But what candy
Is jerky candy?
is jerky candy? Meat candy? That's my stripper name. Because I'm sweet on that meat.
And you're like, I'm sweet and salty.
Because I've been sweating. I've been working up a sweat. Dancing for you. All right, here we go. Andrew put taffy.
Shake
and
that
John
Laffy Taffy.
put lollipops.
The Laffy Taffy.
The answer is Tootsie Rolls.
Let me see. Oh, Tootsie Roll.
There we
to
go.
The left,
There is
to
a
the
song.
left, to the right.
There's songs for all of these, huh?
To the side. Now slide. Slide.
Tootsie Rolls.
They're kind of like taffy-ish.
Tootsie, Tootsie.
How many licks to get to the center of that Tootsie Pop, baby?
All right. How much money did Hershey's pay Steven Spielberg to feature their Reese's Pieces?
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces.
Shut the fuck up.
Their Pieces. How much money did Hershey's pay Spielberg to feature their Reese's Pieces
Reese's Feces?
instead of M&M's in E.T.? How much money did Hershey's pay to have their Reese's Pieces in E.T.? I remember seeing that movie and being like, why didn't they use M&M's? Because at the time I
I
was
don't even
like,
know what the fuck to put.
how much money?
Price is Right rules?
Price is Right rules.
Oh, fuck. I went over.
All right, here we go. Price is Right rules. John wins. All right. Andrew put $3 million. John put $500,000. The answer is $1 million. So even if it wasn't Price is Right rules, John
$1
would get
million?
his
Fucking
point.
hell.
There might be a tie because here's the final question, but Andrew is at 2 and John is at 1. And you know if there's a tie, there's a candy off. And you have to answer facts about John Candy.
I love John Candy.
Damn, I should have done that quiz.
The king of polka.
That would have been funnier.
Polka twist?
Candyman, John Candy.
Yeah,
Damn.
that would have been.
You should have seen the toast. I couldn't fit it through the door.
All right. Finally, according to the American Chemical Society, Price is Right rules, how many fun-sized candy bars can a human ingest before killing himself or herself? How many fun-sized candy bars?
Or their self.
I apologize to they them. How much candy bar you eat?
Like, what are you
die?
You're gonna go like into like diabetic shock or something? Like, what's?
No, you just die.
That's like eating anything though. Like too much will
Yeah,
kill you.
But if you got that anything and you split it up between fun-sized candies, how many? Oh, here's some answers. John wrote 30. Andrew wrote 200. And Drew, you get the point because the answer is 262.
Yeah.
So you're a real candy guy.
Yeah.
3-1.
So you're saying the limit is 265?
I know. Well, no, that's over.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Shit.
John doesn't know math.
You'd be dead already, so we'd be shoving it in your butt. So yeah, the limit would be 261. And guess what? Since you won, Drew, you got to do it right now. Let's test this shit. Let's see if the American Chemical Society
Like, here's
knows what the fuck they're talking
Here's
about.
a box of Nestle Crunch.
I mean,
Here you go, Chunky.
I have eaten.
Ass.
I'm a millennial, so I like chocolate. I don't know what the most I've eaten is. I get really full just by eating like
Full of shit.
shit.
I think it's like, I mean, I don't know. As an adult, I feel like when you eat a lot of sugar, you feel it. So like any
Oh,
type
yeah.
of candy is like
For real.
like that. Like I think
Yeah.
I can eat.
It's a
maybe-
treat. It's literally a treat.
Yeah, it's I I don't know. See, because like I feel weird eating after. I like Hershey's like cookies and cream.
That's
Cookies
good.
and cream.
I can eat a whole bar of that.
I can eat a whole bar of that. I do feel it afterwards though. Like you feel like you're getting like a
Hey,
sugar
looks
rush.
the same coming in,
some-
same coming out.
What the fuck?
Hershey's.
It's just
It
weird
was the
white
cookies
shit.
and cream.
And
though.
guess what? It looks so
white.
good.
Eat
Eat it again.
It looks like bird shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I guess like Starburst also make me feel weird when you eat the whole pack of Starburst.
Yeah.
I love Starburst.
I maybe can max out at 4 now. I used to be like, I can eat this whole damn
Sometimes
sleeve.
I can't finish a bag of Skittles though anymore though. I
I'll
kinda
bite
feel-
some chocolate sometimes. I'm like, ooh, too fucking much, like too rich, or
Rich,
like
too
I'll
rich.
bite like a cupcake
Actually,
with
as I
like
get
chocolate
old-
frosting. I'm like, no.
I hate frosting.
I was like, I will
as I
not
get
do it.
older, I kind of dig in dark chocolate. I never liked that as
You
a
know
kid.
what's weird is that it's crazy.
Hey, John.
We're taking on some.
Me too.
What?
He's talking about your butthole dark chocolate.
What are you gonna say?
You know what's crazy is that we're taking on these tropes of actual adults, where it's like, oh, the adults don't need candy, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, now
Or
we
soda.
know. Now we
Soda's
know
also
why.
another thing. Soda's like liquid candy, and it's just like
I
that.
don't drink soda.
I don't drink soda.
bad.
anymore.
I
for you.
honestly love unsweet tea. Like, I actually really like
I
it.
love sparkling water because it fills my stomach up with carbonation.
Ooh, that'll make me fart hard.
What the fuck?
Maybe I just need Pepto-Bismol.
I only burp.
Ted Lasso.
No, I fart. Anytime anything carbonated, maybe that's why I don't, because I've never drank soda even like as a kid. But anything, maybe I'm susceptible
I've
to.
seen you pound back 3
carbo.
Cokes before.
Nom 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 nom. But
sorry,
I think
I
that
said-
carbonation.
I said cocks wrong.
If I have any bit of carbonation, I'm tooting. Chitty chitty. Bang bang.
I've drank beer with you before, and you're just like, I'm gonna fart. That's what you
I
said?
will legit say everything makes me gassy. Maybe I'm just a gas machine. I'm sorry, ozone layer, but I can out fart any cow. I promise you.
What?
Because
Cow?
cows fart.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think everything farts.
Is that a book you read?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Candyman a little more. Let's talk about the cast. I mean, the character we didn't really dive into too much. Obviously, we've talked about Anthony Candyman himself, the main character of this movie, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. But Teyonah Parris is in this as Anthony's girlfriend and an art gallery director, and they really use her character to explore maybe another theme in the film, which is like this weird art and maybe academic hierarchy that borderlines like passive racism in a weird way, especially
sure.
since she wants to get, she's getting into galleries because they want a certain voice or to check some box. And then she also is dealing with some crazy trauma from her other artist dad.
Yeah. It's like a
Jumped off a ledge.
Yeah. But what do you think about Teyonah Parris? We know her. We love her from that WandaVision.
yeah. What she plays? She plays Monica Rambeau, right? Not
She's a
Maria
superhero,
Rambeau?
damn.
Monica Rambeau, yeah.
really
She was
cool.
great. She was awesome in this. I think maybe a little underutilized, but actually, I mean, she has a really good arc there at the very end. She's the one who witnesses everything at the craziness that happens in the third act. I thought she was awesome. I kind of wanted to see more of this little art world that they were kind of hinting at before everything kind of just starts to mesh.
Do you remember that Jake Gyllenhaal movie where it's like an art?
I haven't
horror
seen
thing?
it. Dude, don't.
No, but
let
I'm saying
know.
it reminds
Yeah,
me
yeah.
of that because that whole it's a horror movie set in the world of like
of art,
artists,
and
everyone dies.
God
I'm
damn
just
it.
kidding. No,
Okay, I was like, yeah, I thought she was great. Teyonah Parris is like, I think they may have, struck up a friendship here, like her and Nia DaCosta,
Oh yeah,
because she is
That's
in
true in Marvel,
Marvels,
right?
Yeah, and so, yeah, I thought she was pretty awesome. I think it's sad what's happening to her. Like, I do want to see more of it. I feel like the character to me was like more of like a tease because I did want to see a lot more of the, not that we need to see more of the trauma stuff, but the fact that it's there makes it an interesting, like, another layer to the character. And everything that you said about about her in the art world too, which was only just glossed upon before the movie, descends into
Devolves
madness.
like
literally.
literally an action piece that towards the
It does,
end.
yeah. Because then at that point you have to hit the horror tropes. So like you start checking them off after
Yeah.
that. And so, but
And
she was awesome.
She's separate. I mean, they have a blow up fight, but I also appreciated the fact that she is just pretty realistic in terms of the Candyman thing. And at one time she's like, I'll just say it right now and you'll see it's not real. But there's moments where she's like, oh, hell no. Like, I'm not going to even fuck with that shit. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah.
And I was like, that's pretty. But then, towards the end, she does become like I'm going to investigate things on my own and use, flashlights to find things, which
Right, yeah.
is a little, horror-y. Horror-y. As well. Well, so I want to ask you, because we talked about the prophecy a little bit, but Candyman or Anthony McCoy is a baby from the first movie.
Right.
And Vanessa Williams returns to play his mother. What did you think about that and the connection to the original? I mean, I would say in terms of like sequelists, that felt the most sequely thing, at least to me, apart from actually seeing Tony Todd towards the end. But having that interesting retcon to me, what did you think about that? It reminded me of like any of these new reboots where you're like, oh, here's like an overt thing from the first one.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was like, I mean, it would have been an easy. I guess this is a way to kind of please everybody. You know, you not that it's a bad thing, but like you please fans of the original, and you please the original. I guess like you're kind of homaging the original itself in this case, like by making it a continuation.
Yeah.
You're not stepping on any toes in this way. I dug it. It does feel, yeah, you're right. That's the most sequely part.
And
of
part
this
of it's because
movie.
we watched a lot of sequels, and like we just saw a Matrix trailer where we're probably going to see Matrix shots.
That's the way you do it right, I think, in my opinion. Like you kind of like, you don't. This movie is definitely its own movie. It's got its own tone. It's own storyline and everything. But that is a really nice connection, a nod to the fans and to the cult following that that made the series what it is.
Yeah.
So I thought it was great.
And she does continue the idea that like, I mean, he even says Candyman and she's like stops him. And I was like, well, that's what happens when you experience all this shit. Like everyone's on hush hush about like this legend.
Yeah, like the way John said, I think it's really cool on how it can stand on its own too. Like it doesn't need, like they explain it to you in a really creative way with the shadows and the puppets and stuff like that. Where you're like, damn, like it looks creepy as fuck. Like I want to own some of these puppets.
It's really good, and that's a Chicago-based artist, I think, who did.
Yeah, and so it's really cool because they use that to kind of fill you in on if you haven't seen the other ones, but you definitely don't need them to kind of enjoy this one for sure. But it's overall just really well done, and I think it isn't over. It leaves it enough to where it gives us just enough to want more.
Yeah, and I think that there's a plenty. I mean, in terms of style, this is a really great style movie. Like it is structured in a great way. It's incredibly visual, but it's really smart, and I think it's very like well thought out.
Yeah,
as a piece.
I do want to say I like the way that prophecy is presented here, and it's presented with like some dramatic irony because we the audience know because the way they tell the story of the bonfire in this movie is not how it went in the first movie.
Yeah, we saw. Yeah,
in the first because Helen Lyle got blamed for all the killings. She she's the one who
we saw her
stuff.
Perspective through the first one, and now we're seeing everybody else's perspective.
Yeah.
From
So like I like that
the outside.
I like the dramatic irony, and like he kind of finds out through talking with his mother and stuff. Like I thought that was kind of well done. It wasn't like I don't know I guess where I'm going at, but it was just it's just fun.
Well,
nice
he's connected.
See. Yeah.
He's like actually meant, and the prophecy was true. Like but
right,
he himself as a character is connected to this franchise.
It's just really cool because like it's damn, I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. It's gone. It's fucking gone.
It's just
I'm watching the movie now, and I'm like, damn it, we're getting to the.
How are you watching it?
In my head.
So
we're recording this in a theater.
It's shit. Yeah, I forgot where I was going with this too. I think it's
sorry.
It just does it like the sequel part about it just is presented well. Like I think the prophecy of that like nature of like it's coming true and stuff. That's the supernatural element to the movie because it's all
and it's more that supernatural element. It's more motivated because a lot of these slasher movies it's based on like iconicism in a weird way.
Right. Yeah.
It's like I can't wait to see. I don't want to burn any movies coming up, but I can't wait to see this one thing that we know this slasher does, and that's the basic crux of the movie.
Right,
is seeing him just do it over again.
I think this movie kind of works against that. You don't really see a whole lot of the tropes until the end. I mean, the end you do see like a massacre type of Candyman fashion.
Yeah.
But I do think that DaCosta was very much aware of that and wanted to kind of subvert your expectation on what the hell was going to happen when it comes to using that, like either because she does use the iconography of Candyman at the very end.
Even
obviously.
that church, right? That's we know that church. Mm-hmm. We know Cabrini Green. We've seen it before. So yeah, I mean, so those moments make sense partially because you can't really leave the neighborhood, because that's.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's just a really smart idea. It's just a really smart idea from the first one. Like, man, leaving this loose end, like for future things that they never picked up on, and so it makes sense to kind of go back and kind of retread that.
The sequel thing.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
exactly.
link?
Yeah, the link, and that because it does seem like a reboot, but it is a direct sequel, and bringing back Tony Todd, like they didn't have to put him in there or whatever, but
it's really reliant even on the first one.
Right.
Yeah, and it's almost like one of these movies that that's like a reboot sequel, but it also cancels out some of them. Or it's like Superman Returns. Superman Returns comes back, and it's after Superman 2. It deletes Superman 3.
I mean,
Superman
it's
4.
literally what Marvel's doing now with the multiverse. Like,
and
none of it. We saw all the Infinity Stones in a drawer.
And so it happens in multiple movies where it's like, hey, Halloween, where it's like, you remember all those other Halloween movies where they didn't fucking happen,
just the first one.
Yeah, and so it's the same thing here where it's like, oh, cool, like now we can do it right.
Yeah. Well, let's go around the horn and give our final thoughts on this movie before we do plugs. But John, what did you think about Candyman? What are your final thoughts on it? Love it or hate it? I'm just kidding.
Loved it. I haven't seen a whole lot of movies this year. I kind of still want to watch like the Green Knight stuff, but Candyman has shot up to some, one of my favorite movies of the year. Very effective horror, great performances all around. Just enough of a good nod to the original to where it's almost like a really good sequel, like almost like perfect. I wouldn't say a perfect sequel, but it's up there for what it is.
And things have changed in 30 years.
Definitely.
And it feels that way.
And yeah, it feels that way, and it's surprisingly modern because the Candyman concept sounds like if had this movie failed or something, or or like execution, I guess wise, to me, if it would have failed, then I would have been like, yeah, that's a concept just left in the 90s because it does sound ridiculous a little bit. Like some of it does sound goofy, but it's done really well.
If you think about it, bees is a little
it's
bees are a little goofy as a warning sign.
It's like exactly. And so the fact that it's really good is pretty awesome, and I like I like everything about this movie. I think the fact that it's also like kind of brief and short. I know that that's probably a fault whenever it comes to how much stuff it's trying to say.
The ending. Even, yeah,
and that's probably a fault to it, but I mean it's a quick watch, and it's if you didn't know anything about the franchise, this at least points you in the right direction, and you end up appreciating the original because of it. So I think it's a great flick.
Andrew,
an instant classic.
Wow,
for sure, yeah, and I think it's going to be super underrated because it obviously got overshadowed by a little thing called the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
But
it got released during a pandemic, which is weird too.
It's true, but I think it's a really good option because I know the superhero things aren't for everybody, and some people are like, oh, it's not my thing.
Some people only like horror.
Yeah,
and horror's always good. Like I feel like even if it's bad, it's good sometimes.
I think when you're an avid moviegoer and you do love going to the movies, I think you like to have choices.
An AMG, avid moviegoer.
And so when you go, you're like, oh, Candyman or, another Marvel movie. And so both of them are fantastic. But Candyman was super awesome. And I think it's going to pop up on a lot of people's radars later. And it's going to become a cult classic in itself, like the way the first one was, where, people can watch it today or last year, like the way me and John did, and still, kind of have the same effect. As it did when it first premiered and debuted, and why ultimately it's so successful and why it keeps coming back.
I think it's a good. I mean, yeah. So it's a fantastic film. It's really an example of how to modernize and return some of the reins to characters, specifically African American characters, to people who are invested and part of that community, which I think is something that should be done, especially for characters that are profitable and make a lot of other people a lot of money. So I'm really excited to see the future for Candyman. This movie, it delivers on a lot of levels. It's a different kind of horror movie.
So deep. That's where it's scary. Where it's like in its thieves.
It's like that real horror thing that people, like if there's an actual...
You leave the theater and you're like, man...
Yeah.
Terrifying.
I think that that's part of what you have to go in knowing, because if not, if you're expecting a movie where there will be a jump scare every 5 minutes, this is not that movie. It's a very different thing. It's atmospheric, it's moody, it's surreal. It's really beautifully well shot and well done and crafted. So I think that there's going to be a lot of you having to retrain your mind to think that like horror is a pretty broad spectrum of stuff, and this is part of that. But Candyman is a formative movie, and there's a reason why it's like a cult hit. So I think that the continuation of it is great, and I think that the idea that Candyman can kind of reinvent himself, multiple times is great for story, at least. And I do wish that they went harder at the gentrification stuff, because Cabrini Green is being dismantled, and this is happening in a lot of places outside of Chicago as well. People being displaced, and I think that there should be more stuff that when it even if it's entertainment in a horror movie can address that kind of thing. And I think that's Candyman 2, whatever we're calling the next one. I think that's going to be a great place to kind of explore that, because Cabrini Green will continue to disappear, won't it? Every couple of years. So for sure. Yeah. But this is a really good movie, crafted really well. I was trying to see when it was going to start streaming, because I feel like this is a really good Halloween watch. And there's a lot of horror movies coming out this year, but look it up, I guess. Figure it out yourself, because I can't find it. But find it, even if it's on VOD, it's worth renting.
It's worth the price.
And it's a good horror movie. It's just apart from all the themes, it's just a good horror movie. Like, it's a good horror movie to watch. So hopefully you can see it in theaters. If not, watch it at home safely, but it's good. And it's a great film to include in our spooky sequel October. What did I call it earlier? Fright Fest?
You said spooky.
That's Six Flags.
Sequelitis. I don't know.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's good. But we've come to the end. So it's time for plugs. John, what do you have to plug?
Plug. I'm going to plug Countdown. The Countdown Strikes Back. It's our Star Wars podcast, which all three of us are involved, along with our other co-host, Brent. We right now, I think we're reviewing, at the time of this release, I think we'll still be reviewing some of the High Republic books. I'm not exactly sure which book. I'm assuming... Oh, shit. I'm not even going to try to guess, but I know we're still in the middle of Babu's book club, so we're reviewing that. I think by this time we should have had an episode on Star Wars Visions. So if you like anything Star Wars, go check that out. It's a fun listen. And go out and get vaxxed if you haven't, or keep wearing that mask also, too, because we need to get this shit under control.
Yeah, for sure. Andrew, what do you have to plug?
Everything John said. Listen to my boy John Escudero's Dirt Sheet Radio. If you like the professional wrestling world, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on there. With them going back on the road and signing free agents and getting all these people who haven't wrestled in forever to come back and wrestle and stuff like that. But the Director Showdown with Brent and Adam. Did John, you already say that one? No? Okay, cool. Brent and Adam. And everything John said. Wear a mask. Get vaccinated for sure. So that way we can go into this spooky season a little safer. And you can hand out candy with masks on and not razor blades in them.
Oh, my gosh.
But, yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants COVID in their trick-or-treat bag, am I right? So it looks like Universal has an interesting deal. If the movie doesn't make $50 million at the box office, it can be on VOD 17 days after it premiered. Candyman did make more than that, so it looks like they have to wait 31 days either way, and no word yet if it's going to be on Peacock, because that's Universal's streaming service.
Peacock.
Soon, and that's kind of weird. Like, it's really based on, you won't really know when a Universal movie will be on streaming because of these weird rules.
That is a very complex deal.
Yeah,
there.
Old didn't make 50, so it's available now.
Really?
Yeah.
On Peacock?
On VOD.
Oh, shit.
But so we're really excited because all of our shows are coming back by October. We will be hitting it on a ton of different cylinders. Revenge of the Sequel will be out right now as you're listening to it. So, yes,
it's this one.
Countdown to Infinity, I'm sure, is out and getting prepped for Eternals. Dirt Sheet Radio is consistent every Tuesday. Director Showdown, Countdown to Skywalker, all that stuff. But you can always go to patreon.com/DelphinPod, DLFINPOD, and listen to stuff there before it comes out everywhere else, and also exclusive content. You can see our faces. We have videos.
Oh, yeah,
we got videos for Movie Trivia, and soon other videos. Unrated. OnlyFans, we're back, baby.
X-rated videos.
We sent a OnlyFans
Unrated?
email because we were upset about what they just did, and they reversed it for us.
Yeah, they did. It was all us, guys. You heard it here first.
And if you're going into the Halloween season and you're thinking, man, I'm looking down south and I'm seeing a werewolf. I'm looking at Wolfman down there. You can go to manscaped.com, shave yourself, and get 20% off and free shipping with the code DelfinPod. DELFINPOD. Well, we'll see you next week for, I guess, our final. Is it our final next week? No. Who knows?
Sure.
We'll see you next week.
Order these
Who
are gonna
knows?
release.
Yeah.
Spooky. Bye.